y'all, I am Michelle Mazelleγ. Welcome back to my channel. It's another Let's Chat Saturday. I have two comments to respond to today, so let's get into it. Both of these responses are from the video I posted on Tuesday, and that was about the man from an African country saying that he doesn't want to date or marry American women. So a lot of the comments that I got from the video were very positive comments or in agreement with what he said, but I did have a couple of comments that were in disagreement, and I'm going to read one of the comments that were in disagreement. Of course, I'm going to read you a comment that is in agreement. So here is the first comment. To be honest, we just don't match with African men that well. Too many differences. He should just stick to his own culture and not concern himself about what he doesn't want. Makes no sense to me to even talk about Aboriginal Black women in America. We aren't African, so go judge another group of women. So what that we have similar skin tones, we still aren't them. Plus, it's Western women, period, if he were going to be honest in his critique. So I did respond to the comment by saying that he did not single out African American women. He said American women in general. And I think it's important that African American women don't just try to say, hey, we're being singled out, unless the comment, response, video specifically says African American women. And in this particular situation, in this particular video, he did not say African American women. He said American women. All right. So you will find that some American women were upset, offended, gave a very negative reaction to this video because they did not meet the standards and expectations that he was saying in the video. They're not planning on meeting those standards and expectations, or they're guilty of whatever he was saying. So that's when you have these American women getting upset, getting offended, and getting on the defensive. Because if you're an American woman like myself, and you're not guilty of anything that he said, you're not going to get offended. I was not offended. I was not upset. I did not jump on the defensive because I have been with my husband for over 20 years. I cook for my husband all the time. And so I know whatever he was saying doesn't apply to me. So I'm not going to be upset or getting on the defensive on something that I already do. All right. So the next thing that she said was that African men are different from African American women. Now, in some countries in Africa, I would say that is true. In some countries in Africa, the marriages, the cultures, the traditions when it comes to marriage and relationship could be different. It does all depend on what country that man is from. However, in this particular video, everything he said had nothing to do with culture. These are basic foundation standards in any relationship around the world. He wants a woman who wants to be able to, who's not just going to leave a marriage when things go hard. If you talk to any man around the world, he definitely would not want to be in a marriage where there's not going to be longevity, where it's not going to be long lasting. If you talk to most of the American men, African American men, if you talk to any African American man, he does not want to get in a marriage that he's not going to be staying in. He does not want to be married to a woman who is not willing to put in the work, who is not willing to stick through those hard times. If you talk to any man, he's going to have those expectations as far as wanting to be in a marriage and stay in a marriage. If you talk to a lot of men, if you talk to a lot of African American men, they will say they will love for their wives to cook for them. They will love to have a home cooked meal after he gets home from work. Not to say that he's not going to cook for her whenever he wants to cook, or not to say that he's never going to cook, but he would want a home cooked meal. He does want a woman that's going to cater to his needs. I mean, that is just standard, basic necessities in a relationship, in a marriage, when it comes to a lot of men. So there's nothing cultural about what he said. The next thing that she said that I wanted to talk about was that she said was, and I'm reading it because I can't remember, he should just stick to his own culture and not concern himself about what he doesn't want. Why is it that when a man says that this is not what I want, he can't say that? When women are all over social media, they're always talking about what they don't want in a man. They don't want to settle. They don't want a man who's not already established. They don't want a man who doesn't make as much money as she does. These are all the things that women constantly talk about, especially the ones, of course, who are single, who are trying to find one. They will say the same old thing. They would tell you a man that they don't want. These are the men I don't want. I don't want a bus driver. And that what Ebony K. Williams said? She don't want a bus driver. Okay? I don't want a man who's not making more money than me. But when men say it's a problem, like I said in my last video, it's just a lot of double standards that to me just doesn't make any sense. And so the next one is, I'm proud of him for saying up front what he wants, just like a woman can. Where I get mad is that a woman would try to change a man, and I don't like a man that would date a man he knows, that would date a woman he knows full well he never plans to marry. So what she said in this comment is very true. I think that him being upfront with what he wanted should be what women want him to do. American women should not want this man to not be honest in what he wants in a woman. They should want him to say exactly what he wants. Unfortunately, most American women don't want to hear that they're not wanted. It's okay for them to say they don't want somebody. They can say they don't want to date a man from an African country because of A, B, and C. They could say they don't want to date a man from Asia. I mean, they are okay as American women to say what they don't want, what man they don't want. But they are not able to receive it when a man says from another country, I don't want you. Because when you talk to some American women, they will swear up and down that they are at the top tier of the top tier. There's nobody better than they are. And so when you have a man that says, well, you're totally wrong. There's a lot of women from another culture, from another country, who is way better than you are in a lot of different areas. Of course, there are some American women that can't take that. They get very jealous, they get very offended, they get very territorial, and so that's when you have them lashing out at you. If you are secure in who you are as a woman, this video would never offend you because you know who you are. You don't have to be told who you are. You know who you are. The next thing she said is getting mad because a woman thinks that she can change a man, and that is absolutely right. Women are still under the impression that they can change a man. A man will not change unless he's ready to change. And a lot of times in a relationship, it is the woman who changes him, which means he changes for the woman, but he changes when he's ready to change for her. And a lot of times that changing comes when he's getting ready to lose her. That's when it comes to him like, oh, okay, or don't want to lose her. Either way, he's getting close to losing her, or he don't want to lose her at all. And so he makes the necessary changes for her, for the relationship, for the marriage. And so to let it be known that, hey, I love you enough to fix these flaws that are within me. But a woman can't change a man. If he's a cheater and he wants to keep cheating on her, she can try her best to change his cheating ways, but he has to be the one to say, I don't want to cheat on her anymore. He has to start to value her and the relationship enough and the marriage enough to not want to cheat anymore. So it has to come from him. He has to be the one to decide to change for her and change. There's nothing a woman can do to change a man. She can't change him. He has to be willing to change for her, ready to change for her, and then change. And then that last thing is when a man dates a woman that he doesn't want to marry. And that's exactly what this man was saying in the video clip. He doesn't want to date American women because he's never going to plan on marrying them. And I don't know why those American women who were upset about it would want him to date you just because. You would definitely want him to be upfront of his intentions and not waste your time. Men should not be given the negative backlash simply because he also has wants and desires. He also has standards and expectations. He also has women that he prefers, and that should be totally fine. And you should not be offended or feel rejected because you're not his preference, because you do have to realize that that's just one man, that there's hundreds of other men out there who you meet their preference, who you meet their standards and expectations, who you are exactly the woman they want you to be. So why are you worried on your little head about one man who just simply says he has a preference and that's not you? So that's all I have to say on those comments. I am Michele Mazelleغ. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.